box. They call it a tri-wall box. Split the sides down, lightly wrap it, and push it off with 35 cases out the back of an aircraft. The box sides will collapse, spilling the loose humanitarian daily rations out individually, and they'll flutter down to the ground then where the population can retrieve them.
The humanitarian entrees include 6 menu selections with 4 main menu components. They include tangy beans, vegetable pilaf, lentil stew, and savory lentils. After a problem with animal byproducts in the first batch of meals, the HDRs are packaged politically correct with vegetarian courses, so they're suitable for Muslim refugees in Bosnia. Besides being non-offensive, the meals serve a main purpose.
They're designed to bring a moderately malnourished individual back slowly. They contain about 1/3 of the calories of an MRE. Certainly isn't something that we would want our soldiers to have in the field, as it wouldn't give them enough energy for the missions that they're asked to perform.
Petty Officer Michael Rainey, AFN News.
More USARA soldiers and civilians are stressed out. This word from
the 22nd to recognize the men and women of Operation Provide Promise. The next phase of the airlift is called Operation Provide Santa, an airlift of teddy bears, toys, warm clothing, and shoes to the former Yugoslavia. So far, the airlift has delivered more than 28,000 tons of food and medical supplies to Sarajevo and 11 tons of humanitarian goods to 13 other cities of the former Yugoslavia. The airdrops began in February. USARA has...
In Frankfurt, Germany, this is the AFN Evening News.
Good evening. Operation Provide Santa kicked off at Rhein-Main Air Base last night with an official send-off by the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and Sink Navier Admiral Mike Borda. Army Sergeant Eric Millam was there for the start of this holiday season relief mission.
Before formally kicking off Operation Provide Santa, Mrs. Ogata, with the help of Admiral Borda and Santa Claus, inspected the contents of the crates that were to be dropped on the first mission. In her role as High Commissioner for Refugees, Mrs. Ogata oversees many different relief operations, but the airdrop concept was new to her.
When I heard of the airdrops in the beginning, I really didn't know what it was all about. I couldn't imagine just dropping things from such a high level in the sky and reaching the people. But I know that this has been a lot of new trials and new attempts, and here I come and even see Santa Claus, not only Santa Claus, but Christmas gifts for the children.
The inspection tour then moved to the rigger shed, where Mrs. Ogata was able to see what the riggers do. The riggers who work for Operation Provide Santa see the mission as being very important. Lieutenant Maria Juarez feels good about having the opportunity to help.
It's great. I mean, it's hard to say it, but it's something different. I mean, it makes you feel important and special. Just think that you are helping other people.
Admiral Borda didn't just fly in to help kick off Provide Santa, he brought donations with him. You can make donations to Operation Provide Santa through November 30th. For more information, call German Civilian 069-69-1219. Army Sergeant Eric Millam, AFN News.
In Bosnia, it's easy for adults to forget that this is the Christmas season. But children who observe Christmas don't forget. And thanks to a group of Americans, some of the children in Bosnia won't have to. We asked Denise Richardson to go to Bosnia to cover this story. Getting there was not easy.
It's Sarajevo's second winter under siege, and families' day-to-day existence depends upon the United Nations airlift. As Christmas approaches, children all over Bosnia can expect a break in their grim routine of survival. American youngsters at Rhein-Main Air Base in Germany are trying to make a difference in their lives. It's called Operation Provide Santa.
I want the children of Bosnia to know that the children of Rhein-Main want to help them out to make it through the cold winters.
In fact, everyone at Rhein-Main was encouraged to donate clothing or toys that could be airlifted to Bosnia. Some kids chose to give their favorite teddy bears.
I think the young children of Bosnia kids would like the bear as much as I like the bear. They didn't have any toys or anything, so I wanted to give them something to play with. I didn't send in the toy, I sent in some socks. Because they need warm feet.
Hey, I'm getting close to finding that bird.
The inspiration for what grew to be an international effort came from Gail Loringer.
Given an opportunity to do something kind, people will. They're generous and caring, and it's a wonderful message.
Delivering that message is the job of the 435th U.S. Airlift Wing, which flies cargo planes day and night into Bosnia.
Why did you all volunteer?
It's worthwhile. It's something worth doing. Short of handing them the food themselves, it's something that you can feel good about. It's a big gratifying mission.
It's much more job satisfaction knowing that you've done something to help somebody who may not be able to help themselves.
We joined an early morning flight headed to Sarajevo. The Christmas gifts being sent are not replacing food, but used to cushion fragile items. Aid to areas outside of Sarajevo has to be dropped by parachute at night. As dawn broke, we arrived over Bosnia and received some bad news. Sarajevo airport was closed because of bad weather.
What's the likelihood of getting into Sarajevo today? It should be better this afternoon. The fog should start to burn off, so hopefully around noon. I'll get in there. What about the countryside? How devastating is it?
There's nothing without holes in it. Everything's shot up, all the buildings, all the roofs. Once we get down there, you'll see everything is just completely shot up.
After landing in Split on the coast of Croatia to wait for better weather, our plane malfunctioned. We then joined another crew headed to Sarajevo. Though the weather had only improved slightly, this pilot, the commanding general of Rhine-Main, was intent on reaching Sarajevo. But as the ground loomed closer until it seemed only a few feet away, the fog forced us to abort the landing and return once again to Split.
So when planes don't land as they didn't today, what does that mean for people?
Well, it probably means they have to tighten their belts a little bit.
Tighten their belts? How much more can they tighten?
Well, that's the problem. And that's why I think that we work so very hard to get these airplanes in when we can.
We're in Croatia now. And we head back to...
We're going to go back to Rhine-Main tonight, and then if you want, you can have a chance to go try it again tomorrow.
And so we did. Another early morning takeoff from Germany was followed by another dawn over Bosnia. But this time we had reports that the weather was in our favor. As we approached Sarajevo, we were required to put on bulletproof vests and helmets for protection. As we finally approached the runway after 2 days of flying, we saw many of the buildings that had been battered by the war. We also heard that the airport terminal building had been hit by machine gun fire earlier in the day. With no time to waste, we taxied to the unloading point.
The airport has just 2 minutes to get its cargo off the plane. That's because of the constant danger of mortar shells and sniper fire from the Bosnian surge. In addition to the clothing, toys, and candies being sent, there are the ongoing general deliveries of the basics: food, fuel, and blankets, much needed for people's general survival. The cargo is then put on trucks and taken to the United Nations warehouses in the city. There, it's distributed to the people.
While on the ground here in Sarajevo, we couldn't help but recall the thoughts of one airman, Helen Foster.
If I were talking to a parent in Bosnia, I would say, God bless you. And every time that I see these children, and every time I see children on the streets, I think of you and everything that you're trying to do to protect your children and love your children the best way you can in a situation that's not your fault.
A different cargo, a very worthwhile one, and thank goodness they could finally get it in. 16 minutes after the hour. Next, how one cable channel courts.
Specialist Lee Allen reports.
The team is in Belarus on the first leg of a humanitarian aid mission delivering excess medical equipment and supplies to the former Soviet Republic. Children's Hospital No. 4 was the first facility to receive the aid, and Mrs. Clinton was there to witness the historic event. Belarusian First Lady Irina Shishkevich toured the hospital with Mrs. Clinton and introduced her to the children.
Supplies got here today. This box of supplies will make a very big difference to the lives of the children in this hospital. So we not only have a strong relationship between our two countries, but we also have a growing, strong relationship between hospitals and universities in our country and hospitals and universities here in the Republic. And I think that is very exciting, and it's exactly the kind of cooperation that my husband is trying to promote, which I think will pay off for both of our countries.
The supplies are part of a total $700,000 medical inventory being distributed to 3 hospitals in the capital city. Before leaving, Mrs. Clinton shook hands with each member of the Provide Hope team, personally thanking them for their hard work. Reporting from Minsk, Belarus, I'm Specialist Lee Allen, AFN News.
The aerial port, probably more than any other squadron on base, has been involved in Provide Promise since the start. Our main effort is in the air-land portion of Provide Promise. And to say what specific sections are involved, really the entire port's involved. It's obvious the freight folks that download the trucks, that build the pallets, that sequence the pallets, that put the pallets on heavy equipment and load the aircraft are very involved. But every mission that goes out has passengers on them. So the passenger folks are involved, the baggage folks are involved, our command and control people in the port management center are involved.
Negative, my cap, port control. Somebody calling my cap? That's affirmative. I need your times off the 7 balls 43. If you give me a landline, I appreciate it.
We have a SAM section with 6 active duty members and some augmentation, and we download the trucks that come in from all over that the United Nations prepares. Trucks come in, we download those. As you saw, some of the cargo that comes in is quite a mess, and it takes a lot of manual labor. We're dealing with 100 to 110 pound bags of flour, beans, rice, big cans of oil, heavy cargo, and it all requires manual labor to prepare the pallets. They prepare it. They put on the nuts and the pallet covers. They do a weight of the pallet. They placard it, and then they bring it out to our grid yard. At that point, we send out 3 aircraft every night. Load planning section in ATOC will do a load plan for the cargo. After it's load planned and prepared and ready to go, our ramp services section in air freight will pull the load, put it up on K-loaders, take it out to the aircraft. They also have in ramp services a Phase 2 C-130 Phase 2 program. It allows our folks in ramp to actually load the aircraft in the absence of a loadmaster. It allows us to work our duty schedule around and the workload schedule depending on what the strategic mission is for that day at the strat mission. And so we go out, we'll pre-flight the aircraft without the crew. That takes approximately 45 minutes to pre-flight the aircraft, then we'll go out and we'll load it. And when the loadmaster and the crew comes in the morning, the aircraft is ready for them to go.
The people that we're trying to help here, I think, are the ones who need the help, the elderly, the children. And I personally think it's an outstanding mission and something that needs to be done, and I'm very happy that we are all part of it.
American kids are sending toys, letters, and wishes for peace to children stuck in Bosnia's war.
The stage is set for a holiday performance of the Nutcracker.
Real news for kids. We're on location at the Wren's Nest here in Atlanta, Georgia, but we'll tell you all about that a little later.
But first, Jen, you know it's Christmas weekend right now, but not everyone gets to celebrate the holidays.
I know, Gary, like in Bosnia where the war is going on, people are just trying to survive.
For months, United Nations planes have been dropping supplies down to the Bosnians caught in the war. And over the Christmas holidays, they've also been dropping candy and toys for the Bosnian children.
Well, some kids in Germany are adding something extra.
When you see pictures of suffering like this, what can you do to help? Well, some American military kids living in Germany are doing what they can for the children stuck in Bosnia's war.
They've joined people from several countries in collecting clothes, toys, and candy to be dropped from military airplanes to Bosnian children.
Ready?
And the kids have gone one step further. They've written letters to drop too.
They want Bosnia's children to know somebody out there is thinking about them. 10-year-old Sony Oliver came up with the idea of sending letters at Christmas time.
I thought it would be nice to tell them about ourselves in Germany and why we were sending the presents to them for Christmas.
Some of the children in Bosnia follow the religion of Islam, so they don't celebrate Christmas. But the American kids decided that the spirit of the season is something that every child on earth can understand. They read some of their letters for Real News for Kids.
Hi, my name is Patricia Dixon. I'm sorry that the war is there. I bet you're really cold, but we are sending warm clothes and blankets. We are also sending candy. I have a joke. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Usher.
Usher who?
I sure wish they'd stop the war. P.S. I hope the war stops.
I am 9 years old. I have black hair and dark brown eyes. I hope nobody in your family was killed or wounded. You probably don't know what Christmas is. Christmas is a celebration of Jesus' birthday. When Jesus was born, people gave him gifts, so people give gifts to each other also.
I'm sad that Santa can't come because there's a war going on, but we will send you toys, candy, and lots of great stuff. Your surprises will be dropped off on an airplane. I will pray for you this evening that you stay healthy and don't die. I have a little sister named Jessie. I will tell her to pray for you too. Your food and candy and clothes will come on a C-130. C-130s are airplanes, and they are kind of noisy, so don't get scared. I had been on a C-130 before. One time my brother threw up on a C-130, and it was disgusting. Watch out for the airplanes, because they are going to drop kids. I'm sorry the war is going on. I hope you can wait till the blankets and food get there. I hope you remember me. I pray for you each night. I'm 10 years old and in the 5th grade. I like soccer and macrame. I'm sorry the war is going on. You must be very cold, and that is why we were sending you warm clothes and toys and candy. I hope none of the people in your family have been injured or killed. If I were in charge, I would make them stop. I hope you like the toys I sent you. You are so innocent. You must be very scared. I would be. Dear Bosnian friends, I am sorry about what is going on where you live. I hope the war stops soon. The people who are getting killed in the war are the innocent ones. I'm sending you my love. I hope you don't get hurt or wounded. I wish there was no war. I hope things get better and also happier. I really hope the war stops, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas.